Welcome to another video in the Coaching Mastery series. In today's video, we are going to continue where we stopped in the last video, and we continue to look at tools. This time around, we are going to be looking at tools for making recordings, and in particular, we are going to be looking at tools for making audio recordings. So let's assume you are a legal person, for instance, you are a lawyer, and you don't want to put things into writing because writing takes time, and you don't want to get into all of that. You don't want to spend time managing a blog and things like that. You can just decide to get a simple free tool that you can use to record your voice. Put your voice into a podcast, for instance. You do your recordings, put it into MP3 format, put it on a podcast. You do a podcast regularly where you talk about legal matters, and then people listen to your content. Or you could just put together your solution into an audio that can sell on a CD, for instance. So people purchase your CD, they get solutions in the CD. People purchase your audio on MP3 and things like that. Now, it is really very easy to sit down and put your voice into an audio format, and that's what I'm going to be showing you in this video. Now, to get started, you need to get a software called Audacity. Now, Audacity is a simple software. It's not really a simple software anyway, but it's a software that is easy to use. Let me put it that way. It's a software that is easy to use and which you can use to get your voice out there. So you can share your messages out there. You can put together your solutions and your messages out there, and people can see your solutions, and people can, have, pretty much solutions to their problem simply because you are sharing it with them in an audio format. Now, to get a copy of Audacity, you need to go to audacityteam.org. That's the URL on screen. And then you download and install your copy of Audacity. Once you've downloaded your copy of Audacity and it's installed, you fire it up and you get something that looks like this screen. So here is Audacity. This is the basic screen for Audacity. This is how Audacity looks, and it's so simple to use. You can just get started right now and just get something there. Now, before you get started, I would like to discuss a little bit about your audio input. Now, your PC generally comes with an inbuilt microphone, depending on the kind of PC you have. Generally, it comes with an inbuilt microphone. That means you can just power up Audacity right now, and you click record, and then you start recording just from your PC. However, if you are using the microphone that comes with your PC, that inbuilt microphone, it is very easy, and most times it will actually pick up background noise. So you have a lot of background noise mixing with your audio, which may be a little bit difficult to remove, and then it might affect your audio quality. And that is why I usually would recommend that you get a microphone. It might be one that you put that has a headset, a microphone, or just a normal studio microphone. I use studio microphones. And then you can just get your microphone and plug your microphone into your PC and do your recording from that mic input. Now, when you do that, it greatly improves the quality, the sound quality that you can eventually export out. So you need to pay attention to that. So let's just dive quickly into Audacity, because I won't want to take too much of your time working with this. Now, let me also state here that I am not an expert at the use of Audacity. I'm not an expert at audio editing. I just have just a little bit of passable skills when it comes to audio editing. But the little I'm going to show you is actually quite enough to start putting things together and to start getting things out there. So once you pick it up from here, there are a lot of excellent materials available all over the internet that you can just go to and learn more if you decide that you want to get better at using audio or Audacity and doing audio, voice recordings and things like that. So, but with this basic setup, it's very easy for you to start getting your messages out there. You don't need any expensive equipment. You don't need to go to any high price studio. Just get a good microphone, have your PC ready, get a quiet environment, and then you can just get started doing something. So let's just quickly dive into Audacity. Now, to start out with Audacity, the first thing you need to know and the first thing you need to get accustomed to are what I call the control buttons. Now, the control buttons are these buttons you see right here, and it has the pause, the play, the stop, the rewind or backward, and then the forward or button, and then has a record button. Now, to start a recording, it is as simple as just clicking on record. Now, the moment I click record, you start seeing the playhead moving, usually to the right, and then you start seeing my voice input entering into Audacity. It's being recorded right now, and you see it in a wave form. So as I speak, you see that wave form showing on the screen, and that shows you that the recording has started and that my audio input is getting in and I am actually being taped right now. So it's as simple as that. Once you click record, the recording starts and things start going. Now, when I hit pause here, my recording stops. Now, it does not mean I have ended the recording. What I'm just doing is I'm pausing that recording. And then I can hit pause again, and then the recording starts where it left off. So pause, and then pause again, pause stops, then pause again, and then recording starts. Now, the moment you hit stop, it means you have ended that recording. So you have now ended the recording, and if you hit play or if you hit record again, now, the moment you would notice that the recording starts. Okay, now let me just stop that quickly, and then let me just stop that quickly. Now, when you hit record again, you will notice that your recording starts again, but this time around your recording starts in a new track. So this is a track up here. This is a track of recording. And then here is another track right below it. Now, what happens is that there are times when you need to have different tracks. Let's assume you are doing a music video, for instance, and then you've done a recording of your song. You can decide to do a voiceover. Probably you are doing a backing of your song, or there's a musical instrument that is being played, on the same song. It comes in as a track, as another track. So what Audacity does is that every new recording after the recording has been stopped starts on a new track. Now, when you are starting a new track, usually the track that was there before will be played as the new track is being done. So, for instance, if I hit record again, you will notice that the first two tracks, both this track and this track, is playing while the third track is recorded. Now, in order to stop this default action, what you need to do is to record a solo track. Now, the moment you record a solo track, every other track is muted. So every other track goes to the background, and then only the one you are doing right now is being done. Now, I'm just going to stop that recording one more time, and I'm going to just close off everything. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this, just like I'm doing a delete, and then I'm going to show you other things. Now, when you set up Audacity for the first time, or you are using Audacity, it is not uncommon sometimes to have this your setting here, the mono and the stereo for the recording channels, because you can have multiple channels coming in. So you have your mono and you have the mono and the stereo. Now, when is this stereo? Usually it's like you're having two inputs, kind of left and right kind of inputs coming in at the same time. So if you have your recording as stereo, instead of having that one track with the wave format on just one pane, you see it on two panes, something like this. So if I hit record now, you notice that I'm still recording, but now it's a stereo. So I'm having one on top, one below, and then the two is just being recorded at the same time. Now, when you're doing your basic recording, you may not need this. So what you would do, I'm going to stop that again. What you need to do is that you make sure that you are recording as mono so that you just have one and then it's not confusing to you. Now, once you have the mono track, once you set this as mono, and then you understand your basic play tools, your control tools, that's pretty much what you need to get started with recording your voice, and then being able to go to the point where you have recorded your voice, you're packing your voice is going out. However, when you're starting with your recording, it's always a very good idea to leave a kind of moment of silence before you record. So, you see, the reason why you are doing that is because no matter where you are, no matter how quiet you think it is, there is usually background noise. There are a lot of noise that are there subtle in the background that you may not pick. For instance, you can have the air conditioner on. I'm recording now, the air conditioner is on. You can have the fan doing a swish, overhead. You can have crickets chirping somewhere in the far distance, and then you just have those background noise, and then they become a component of your recording. So when you start recording, you should give about 30, 40, or just about 60 seconds, just where you just keep quiet, you're not saying anything, and then you just allow background noise to be picked up in that space as a part of your recording. Now, the reason why you are doing that is so that when you start editing, you can zoom in on that space and use that space as a point for picking that background noise and cleaning your audio. So if I'm going to start recording now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on record, and then I'm just going to give a moment of silence, something like this. And after the silence, I can now start recording. So you can now see that right here is a moment of silence, and then I have started recording. You can see the recording is just going on as I speak. And then another thing you want to do when you are recording your voice is that when you have said something wrong, or you probably did not pronounce something well, or something like that, you don't correct yourself immediately. What you do is that you leave a little bit of gap, something like this, and then you retake what you said earlier. Now, once you have done a retake of what you said earlier, it's easy to come back to that point and edit during post-production. That is, after you have done your recording, you can come back to that those areas and then just do an edit of those areas and take out what you don't want and put what you want into those places. So it's very important that when you are doing your recording and you have said something wrong, you said something you don't like, just do a retake of those areas and then you go on with what you are doing. Now, also is when you are doing your recording, you should avoid too loud input coming in. Now, when you look at the waveform I am recording here, you would see that it is going just, it's giving you those wave formats. Now, if I record a too loud input, you would see that that input is jumping so high from the 0 point. Now, you don't really want your input jumping too high away from 0 point, because when it jumps too high away from 0 point, it can give you clipping sounds when later you are doing a replay, or you are doing an edit, or you are doing voice modification and all of that. So you want to measure your inputs. Sometimes you may need to step a little bit away from your speakers when you see that The wave points are going very high. It's touching almost 1, getting to above 0.5 level here, 0.5 level up, 0.5 level down, and it's getting almost to like 1. Then your input is becoming too loud, and it would affect your eventual audio quality. Now, I'm going on with this recording right now so that I can show you how to do edits of your recording. You can just go ahead, do edit of recording and all of that. But before I do that, you should also know that you can stop your recording by just hitting the space bar. That's a shortcut. You can stop your recording by hitting the space bar. You can play by hitting the space bar as well. So I'm just going to stop this recording now so that we can do basic edits on this recording. I show you how to do basic edits, and then that's pretty much about it. You don't need to do too much with it when it comes to recording your voice and taking it out there. You just want to get your voice in. You want it to be in a clean way. You want to get it out in a clean, professional way that will be clear, crisp when people listen to it. It's not too loud, it's not too low. It's neat, and people can listen to it probably on your podcast or on a CD, and then you are packaging your content, and then you are shipping it out to the world as a coaching program. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just pause this, and then we'll start editing. Now, you can, once you have done your recording, you can always do a playback of the recording. But before I do that, you have your Zoom tools. Now, there are times when you are editing and you want to really see what you are editing. So you can use your Zoom tool to zoom in or out. Now I'm zooming out. So you can see I'm seeing the whole of my recording here. That's about 3 minutes of recording. And I can see everything at a go. Although I cannot really see what I want to edit when I want to edit. So for that, I would need to zoom in. So I just do a zoom in, and I can see it now clearly. If I need to cut something, if I need to pull something out and all of that, it's clear. I can see the wave formats. In fact, as you go ahead and as you do more and more of editing, you will get to a point where you can recognize wave formats. So you can see the audio inputs, and you can just know by looking at the audio inputs which ones are wrong and which ones are okay. You just see, and you just get it. So right now, I can just do a play of this recording, and once I do a play, you can hear what you have done being played back to you. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a play, and then that's the dead area, the area without sound. After the silence, I can now start recording. So you can see it has started. Right here is a moment. So I'm just going to hit the space bar to stop. Then I'm going to go to the beginning. Now, I talked about noise and why you have to leave this space so that you can pick up background noise. Now, when you do your audio, after you have done your recording, it is also possible to remove background noise. For instance, when you listen to the audios I release or the videos I release, it's neat, it's crisp, you don't hear noise, and it's like I'm in a recording studio. Now, what I have done usually during edits is that I have made sure I have left spaces where background noise can be picked up, and I can use that as a filter for removing the background noise. So what I need to do now is I need to get the selection tool active. Here's the selection tool. It's active. And then I would start at an insertion point. So I just do a click and hold down, and I will drag over that area where I picked up the ambient noise, the background noise. So that's the first place where I had a moment of silence just to pick up whatever is there. Now, once I have picked it up, the next thing I want to do is that I want to go to effects, and I'm going to go to noise removal. So it can be noise removal in some editions of Audacity. In some other editions, it can be noise reduction. So I'm just going to go to noise reduction, and then I am going to get the noise profile. That's the first thing. Now, you won't be able to remove the noise if you have not gotten the noise profile. And the reason why we did that selection over that area where we left a space is so that we can pick up the noise, the area with the background noise, and use that as a kind of hint for the software to know what to pick up as background noise. So I'm just going to go to display portion, and I'm going to get the noise profile. Now, after I have gotten the noise profile, the next thing is that I would select the whole of the audio track. So I'm just going to do that quickly by doing a Control A. Of course, you can drag and drop and select the whole of the audio track. I'm going to zoom out so that you can see that the whole of the audio track is now selected. So you can see the whole of that audio track has now been selected. I'm now going to go to Effect again, and I'm going to go back to the noise reduction. When I get to the noise reduction, you can now see that the noise reduction here, I can now preview. So when you preview now, you will notice that it will play, and you will notice that after the silence, most of the noise that was there would have been filtered out. So once I'm done with that, all I just need to do is do an OK, and then it applies the noise reduction, and noise is removed from that audio. So if I play this audio now, whatever background noise that was formerly in the audio will be pretty much not existence anymore. And after the silence, I can now and you can now see how quiet the audio is. That right here is a moment of silence, and then I have started recording. You can see the recording is just going on as I speak. And then another thing you want to do when you are recording your voice. So that's that about that. Now, of course, there are other audio effects that you can add. You can amplify. You can increase the volume of your audio. For instance, I can go here and just do a volume increase. So let's just play the audio again and see the volume. And after the silence, I can now start recording. So you can now see that right here is a moment of silence, and then I have started recording. You can see the recording is just going on as I speak. And then another thing you want to do when you are recording your voice is that when you are doing your post-production, you want to, when you're doing your edit, you want to make sure that the voice is balanced. You don't want a voice that is too loud. You don't want to be too low that people will now start straining in order to hear what you are saying. At the same time, you don't want it to be too loud that the voice and the audio is now no longer clear. For instance, listen carefully to this. Now, this is too low. And after the silence, this is too low. So now listen to this. This seems balanced. A moment of silence, and then I have started recording. You can see the recording. So this looks balanced, going on. And then look at this. And then another thing you want to do when you're recording your voice is that. Just pause. Now this is so high that it's even giving a kind of distorted listening. So you want to just find a balance, a point where the volume of what you are going to send out is just about balanced. It's not too high. It's not too low. And then, like I said earlier, you can let me select again. You can go ahead and add effects. You can do an amplify. Let's preview. And after the silence, I can see how it's been amplified. So you can do an amplify. You can, for instance, increase tempo. You can increase tempo. You can increase speed. So you can change the speed. You can change the pitch. Let's see. And after the silence, now let me increase the speed so that you can just see what we are talking about here. So that's a very high speed. So you can increase the speed of your recordings. You can.
And after the silence, I can now start recording. So you can now see that right here is a moment of silence, and then.
So you can increase speech. You can increase. You can do pretty much a lot of things with this software. Now, the next thing you want to do is that you want to know how to do edits to your recordings. For instance, now that I have done this recording, one of the things I probably want to do is that I want to remove that period of silence at the start of the recording. So in order to remove that, I'll need to go to that point and get an insertion point. Now, this is where I want to start my selection from, and I want to take all this out. So I started here. I started here. I clicked, held down, and then I dragged, and I got to this point. I want to take out this area. Now, to take out this area, once I have selected it, I just need to do a delete, and that area is gone. So if I play now, you notice that after the silence, I can now start recording. So you can now see that right here, and now the same thing can be done just about anywhere in your audio. For instance, I can decide to take out
right here is a moment of silence.
So I can decide to take out the whole of this. And once I do delete, it's gone. I can decide to take out this space. This is a space. This is control undo. So where's that space? So I can decide to take out any space I don't like and all of that. So here is a space, for instance. I can take out this space and I just do delete and it's gone. Now, when I'm done with my edits, the next thing I want to do is that I want to save or export my audio. Now, when you are finished with your audio recording, the next thing you want to do is you want to export the audio. So in order to export the audio, you just go to File, Export Audio. I'm just going to do Test. And then I want to export my audio in MP3. Now, when you export your audio in MP3, I'm just going to leave the standard settings here. I don't want to tweak with all of that. Now, when you export your audio as an MP3, depending on your settings, you may be asked to get this file here, the lame file. Now, in order to create MP3, if you don't have that, then you would need to download, have it available, then you can create your MP3. So it's pretty much as simple and straightforward as that. You can just hit the ground running and start recording your voice, recording your messages, and start putting it out there for the world to hear. And you can build your coaching business around creating audio files. I'll see you in the next video and would explore more tools that you can use for your coaching business.